Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and I am here with actually a couple of exciting things to share with you. My Juju sweater that I have finished. I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. You guys have seen briefly like with my vacation capsule, but I want to talk you through my Juju. Also House of Hotard is having a sale, a birthday sale this week, and I've got a code that gets you even more off. And if you are wanting to up your sewing level, if you've noticed that sewing clothes, you're really enjoying it, but things are just not quite right, can't figure out what's happening, most times likely it is because you are, the fit is off just a little bit. Whether that, and most of the times, guys, it's just small little tweaks. If you struggle with fitting your sewing patterns, knowing what to do, how to make the pattern alterations, my Pattern Fitting 101 course opens again today. So the card is open for 10 days. The class starts on March 3rd. And basically what that means, you have access to the community. But actually, from the minute that you join the class in the cart, you have access to the community. It's kind of like Facebook, but it's within the class where we can start talking, asking questions, that sort of thing. And then on March 1st, the first module becomes available to you. The modules include pre-recorded classes. There are so many lessons that are in this course, as well as you have access to the alterations resource library. I think, oh my gosh, there's so many that we've got. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, like 30 different, maybe more, pattern alterations and how to do it actually on your pattern pieces, like how to, okay, I need a sway back adjustment or whatever it might be, how to actually do that on your paper pattern in order to make that adjustment. But anyway, Module 1 becomes available on the 3rd. There's the community that goes all the way through again, through all 6 weeks of the class. There's 6 different modules. And then once they've all been made available to you, released, you have access to them for the lifetime of the class. So as many times as you want to watch it over and over and over again. You don't have to repurchase it. You got it. Any updates that are made to the class, you've got access to that too. Anyway, the cart opens today. So if that's something you've been thinking about and wanting to try, now is a great time to grab that. Okay, let's talk about the Juju. So, like I mentioned, House of Hotard, which is the pattern designer of the Juju, is having a birthday sale this week. It started on Saturday, the 15th, and is going through the 21st, which is Friday. And it's in celebration of her 41st birthday. And so everything, there's just 2 patterns. The 2 patterns, the Juju and the Adri. You remember I made the Adri not that long ago. It's such a good pattern. Both are on sale. So her pattern catalog is on sale for 41% off this week. And I have a code. So my code Tomcat10 gets you an additional 10% off either or both of those patterns as well. So if you had your eye on either of those, it's a really great time to go and grab these. The Juju was actually released for another pattern company. She was like a guest designer for another pattern company. And she just recently bought the rights back for that right before the end of the year. So she's been able to release it on her own site with the Adri, which is very exciting. I really love how mine turned out. So anyway, it's on sale right now. Now's a great time. So if you watched my vacation plans, my fabric kind of plans, you know that I had this fabric in those plans to make a Juju and a pair of shorts. The pair of shorts have happened too. You'll have to stay tuned for that video. I bought this French terry. So the pattern is a French terry. It's a Stoff French terry, cotton spandex French terry that I got from University of Sewing. They do not have this one anymore, but they do have a really excellent selection of Stoff knits, both viscose spandex and cotton spandex. And I think she's got some sweatshirts, French terries maybe on there too. Anyway, I'll link their Stoff collection down below. They've got a ton, but I have a code for them as well. Tomcat gets you 15% off their shop as well, which is also very exciting. So anyway, I bought this, oh gosh, it's been a couple of years ago now, but I bought it like at the end of the summer. So I bought like quite a few fabrics from them. We had gone down there to do a little bit of shopping with some friends, and this was one of the ones I purchased, but it was a little too late in the summer for me to make it up. Like, I felt like it was too summery, and I was wanting to make things that were a little bit more autumnal, I guess. So it got put in the stash, and then not kind of forgotten about. You know, I was going to wait until the next spring, but then it went a year. So when I was trying to decide what I wanted to grab for my vacation capsule, I was thinking, well, I need some like lounge wear. I need some knit shorts, number one, but also just some really comfy lounge wear that I can, you know, walk the beach on, that I could also wear to the gym and that sort of thing when I'm at home. And this fabric popped up in my brain, and I'm so glad that I grabbed it. And honestly, I have a little bit left. Even after making this and a pair of shorts, I have enough left over that I could, I don't know, color block something as well. I had enough that I could have done this entire thing out of this fabric. But when I was looking on Instagram, actually, and I was looking at people that have made the pattern up, as well as Tammy, who is House of Hotard, Tammy Hotard. I was looking at her samples that she had made up, and she made up a number of color blocked versions. And I'm like, I just really like that. So I got to thinking, like, do I have anything in my stash that would go like well with that? And I came across this, like, I would call it a winter white. So a little bit of a creamier white Ponte that I had in my stash. And I don't have a ton of it, but, so it was used from another project. And I'm not really sure what that other project would have been. It may have been from my Metro Blazer. I didn't have enough to do another Metro Blazer. But anyway, I still have some scraps left that I could use to do other color blocking projects. But when I saw that I had that, I was like, ooh, I think this could be a fun color blocking like play around. And I think that I might actually like it a little better because you can actually see the details in the sweatshirt breaking it up. I feel like either doing a solid or breaking up the print. I was afraid the print would be too much. So I am really glad that I decided to go this route. So I have got a Ponte. This is a rayon nylon spandex Ponte, and it is a nice beefy one. In fact, this really may have been from my Metra. It feels like it. I do not remember where it came from originally, though. I'm sorry. Stay tuned, though. If you have questions about Ponte, not all Ponte is created equal, and I am going to be doing a lot with Ponte here soon, this year, so check back. I do have a video, though, with fabrics and all that kind of stuff, a whole series on learning fabrics, and I talk about that. But anyway, use Ponte. One of the things that I found really interesting with this pattern is that instead of using interfacing, she had you cut out pieces with muslin. So basically, or some sort of a sturdy cotton, basically a sewn-in interfacing as opposed to a fusible interfacing. And I went with it. Normally I am a fusible interfacing all the way type of gal. But sometimes the fusible interfacings don't want to adhere as well to knit fabrics. I'm not sure why. I don't get the issue with the interfacings that I use. I don't get the bubbling issue with my woven fabrics, like ever. Which that is, if you get the bubbling with your interfacing, it's usually an issue that things did not get adhered correctly. Sometimes it can be that you didn't pre-shrink, that some interfacings do need to be pre-shrunk. The Palmer Clutch ones that I use do not need to be, but you do need to read the manufacturer's instructions on whatever interfacing that you might be using. So that could be the issue, but a lot of times it didn't get fused all the way. So when you wash it, it's bubbling because it's become unattached in areas. Anyway, I noticed that I have more issues with that happening in knit fabrics than I do in woven fabrics. I never have that issue in woven. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. So in the collar section, there is 2 layers of, well, I used leftover quilting cotton. So I had bought the, I guess, natural color, cream colored Kona cotton from University Sewing to do our quilted jackets that were just recently, and we had some left over, and Jenny had just brought it back over to my house because she was the one that cut out all those pieces and did the quilting, so she had just brought it over. So anyway, it was sitting, what little we had left was sitting there, so that's actually what I used because I didn't want to be able to see anything through the white Ponte. So anyway, I used 2 layers of quilting cotton in as the sewn-in interfacing, basically, for the collar. So you based around the pieces with that woven fabric. And then you get 1 piece in with the pocket flap, and then you back the pocket as well with the woven fabric. So I thought that was really interesting. It's just sewn in interfacing as opposed to a fusible. Anyway, I found that very fascinating. I had a lot of fun putting this together. Her instructions are really, really well done, but she also has video tutorials. So everything was finished, almost everything was finished burrito style, and with the exception of you do have a section in the back neck that has to be sewn closed. It's like the hole that you turn things through basically for the collar that has to be sewn closed like with a ladder stitch by hand. It's like 2 inches. It's not much. But other than that, everything was finished off really cleanly, and she's got video tutorials though. So if you're one that you're like, I do not understand what these instructions are saying, she walks you through a video tutorial for exactly how to do each of these steps. I didn't have to look at the video tutorials, but I've also done the burrito method so many times, almost in my sleep, I was able to figure that out. However, I did, when I was putting the zipper in, I got it twisted and I had to unpick it on one side. But other than that, you know, if you just go slow, keep things laying flat, it was actually a really, really fun sew. I did have to use a white zipper, and I feel like this bothers me a little bit because it's a definitely white zipper as opposed to the cream Ponte, but it's fine. It's fine. I feel like, I thought that this was like a white background, but when I held up, I had some like true white ribbing and some ribbing that was like a close color to this Ponte. And when I held both of them up next to this fabric, I'm like, no, this really is more of a cream. It's not as white as I thought it was. It's more of a cream background. So very much in my color palette. So the zipper bothers me just a tad, just because it's definitely a bluer white, a cooler white than what the rest is, but it's absolutely fine. The back, so you've got these really cool, the pattern pieces are just super cool. The back I did in the solid, and then I did the lower part of the body in the solid. The sleeves, obviously, I did in the print. The undercollar is in the solid, although I'm going to have this like folded over more times. Maybe if it's cold, I'll zip it all the way up. She did a color blocked version that, and she did the print in these areas where I did the print. I like the way that hers looked. Is a different print. But anyway, and I also didn't want the pockets to like highlight my boobs. So I wanted it to kind of blend a little bit. And I think that I hit it right with that. I did the gusset pockets. So the pockets have a little bit of a gusset there. This was a pattern that was drafted off of a Free People dupe. So if you're familiar with the clothing brand Free People, I think actually both of her patterns, Free People garments, were the inspiration behind her drafting these. So anyway, it's kind of it's a little bit more bohemian aesthetic than I normally go for, but I really like this, and I think it's really flattering. I also like that it's a very tight hemband, so it crops things nicely. So that hemband sits high hip, so, and then it's got some blousing effect. I think it looks really cute with the shorts that I made, but also I think it's going to be very cute as a layer over like my bike shorts when I'm going to the gym, or leggings when I'm going to the gym. Because I go at least 3 times a week to the gym, and having layers that I can throw on. I mean, right now I'm doing a coat because it's freezing, but as the weather starts to warm up, when I can just throw a sweatshirt on, this is definitely one that I'll be gravitating towards and grabbing. I think I may need a pair of leggings in like this ocean blue maybe. Or this like teal green. I've got olive. I have olive. I've got navy. Those are probably fine, but you know, when we're sewing things for ourselves. I used the solid Ponte for the cuffs and the band, and I just think it turned out really, really well. I made the size medium, and I made 0 alterations to the pattern. I used the projector file. What I liked about her projector file is that each piece, the pieces that needed to be cut on the fold, she had a center front fold line if you wanted to cut them on the fold, but she also had it completely opened up. So for instance, the sleeve, because it's a drop sleeve, so it doesn't have to, you know, it's kind of a weird sleeve. It doesn't have a front and a back necessarily because it's very loose. But the sleeve, you could cut, you know, 2 on the fold, or they were opened up. So if you've got your fabric folded over, you could just cut that out once and you get both sleeves cut out, which is what I did. But then a few pieces that I wanted to be cut on the fold, it made it very easy. And that's not always the case with projector files. So I was very impressed with her projector files. Anyway, but it also comes in copy shop format and print at home. So there are options. Anyway, again, very impressed with her instructions. She's a CPA by day. That is her day job. And yeah, just the lining of this, you know, it's got the same fabric lined on the inside. It's a very clean finish, like around the whole neckline. I think that looks really, really nice. I used a combination of my sewing machine and my serger when I was working on this. I just put a ballpoint needle in my machine, or a stretch needle. I like the Schmetz stretch, into the Bernina and put that differential feed on, not differential feed, the dual feed on, which is basically like a walking foot. And it went through like a dream for all the top stitching. So highly recommend this pattern, especially as it is on sale right now. These are both really great streetwear type patterns. So if that is something you're looking for in your spring wardrobe, I highly recommend you go shop the sale. And don't forget to use my code Tomcat10 for an additional 10% off the 41% sale. Okay, guys, that's all I have for today. I am very excited to start showing you a little bit more of those pieces that I made for my vacation capsule, and I'll be sprinkling them out between now and probably through mid-March. So stay tuned. I will show you everything that was in that video, everything that I got made up. It just may take a little bit as we sprinkle other things in throughout the channel as well. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Get some sewing in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.